Yo, what is up, guys? This is Troy D from the Troy D 24/7 Mall channel, your source for on point and no hype reviews. We are back yet again, everybody. We are back with another fragrance review right here, guys, on my lovely day off. And today, we're back at By Kilian, guys. Today, I will be talking about the latest By Kilian fragrance that I got to test and enjoy before it released. All right, it's a recent release, guys, and thanks to one of our friends of the channel who is pretty much one of the chief ambassadors of By Kilian here in America, I got to test it, guys, so I can't wait to tell you all about this new By Kilian fragrance. Now, before I continue, please do not forget to like and subscribe, guys, okay? Liking, subscribing, and watching the ads is a great big deal to this channel. Guys, we are halfway to 23K, so please continue all your support, guys. Deep dive into my over 700 no hype videos, and I have a ton more coming, all new, some unreleased, so please continue to support the channel. Thank you very much. And the fragrance that we'll be talking about today is none other than By Kilian, the latest one, Old Fashioned. Yes, By Kilian Old Fashioned. And this would not be possible without the help of one of our friends of the channel, one of the chief ambassadors of Kilian here in America, MD. And I will link his details below if you are interested in trying or testing this or even purchasing it. Please purchase from him because he's the guy that sends us, this stuff ahead of time. Can't wait for the Angel Share one, the flanker that's coming out. I'm pretty sure he's going to send me that too. But this one, like I said, I got to try this early. I'm so excited to tell you more about it. Now, this fragrance right here, the concept is basically an 18-year-old aged whiskey, a Scottish whiskey. This is the concept or the inspiration for this fragrance, and it does come in the same bottle as Angel Share. And I think that moving forward, I think this is what's going to happen. All the boozy fragrances of By Kilian will be in these bottles now, all right? I mean, I'm not complaining. They look great aesthetically, cosmetically, in your collection, your displays. These look great. But of course, what is up with the scent? Can't wait to tell you all about it. Let's go spray this thing right now. Okay, guys, now let's talk about this fragrance right here, By Kilian Old Fashioned. Man, this opening. I mean, it ain't fall winter yet, but man, I'm already... Wow, this transported me fast forward into fall winter, man. But this intro right here, amazing. All right, this starts off with a single malt whiskey accord. All right, and focus on the word single malt. And this single malt whiskey accord is just simply amazing. All right, and the reason why I said single malt whiskey accord is because, yes, you're right. The moment I smelled this fragrance, and usually I do this like an hour in or a couple hours in, I usually hit up the people that send it to me to give them kind of like what I thought. And what I told MD, I remember within an hour of testing this fragrance, I said, bro, this is single malt. This is single malt, yo. And this is some sort of revival of that, I'm pretty sure. And he definitely said, you are not wrong, my friend. All right, you're totally right. And right from the get-go, I mean, I knew that this was going to be some sort of revival just on the smell itself. Because single malt, guys, I mean, when I started reviewing Kilian back in the day, a couple of years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, single malt was readily available. And it was part of, you could say, the must-haves of By Kilian. Single malt definitely is one of those. I reviewed it as well. And it's nice because you have this beautiful whiskey accord and you had this like beautiful plum note that came with single malt. And a lot of people really wanted it. And I thought that, fast forward to today, that it would still be available. However, this fragrance single malt has been discontinued for 2 years. All right. So it's actually a rarity nowadays to even get single malt. And so this fragrance right here is definitely a revival of that. It is an opportunity to try it and own it again. And like I said before, guys, it is inevitable for fragrance companies to bring back their legendary perfumes that have been discontinued or, haven't been seen for a minute. We've seen Bond #9 re-release New Harlem. And remember when everybody was going after like a partial of that, and then now it's like readily available? Well, hey, Kilian did the same thing. Call it a cash grab. I think it's a great retro. Nike does this all the time with sneakers, but they did bring back single malt right here. Okay, now let's delve into the scent itself. Now, a lot of people that have never tried fragrances that are boozy usually ask, like, why would you want to smell like booze, or why would you want to smell like an alcoholic, right? I mean, that's usually what, sometimes I get these types of questions. But here's the thing, guys, when it comes to this fragrance, it's inspiration, okay? It's basically art. It's inspired by whiskey, but it doesn't necessarily smell like hardcore whiskey, all right? You will not smell like an alcoholic wearing this fragrance. Right here in this Whiskey Accord, you have a mix of things. You have this wheat absolute that creates this honeycomb smell, kind of like a sweet honeycomb smell. And then you have spices, you have nutmeg, you have resins here. It's a total mix of things that create kind of like this Whiskey Accord, guys. And it doesn't smell like hardcore booze. It's actually a warming and rich fragrance that creates a scenario of classiness and gentlemanliness. That's why guys like me, we like wearing this. We like wearing, straight to heaven, because fragrances like this, like I said, it creates a scenario. And that's really where niche perfumes are at, versus mainstream designer, like smell good anytime, anywhere. This stuff here creates an elegant nighttime scenario with that beautiful Whiskey Accord that's part sweet, part resinous, part spicy, part boozy. And so that is why this Whiskey Accord is amazing. Now, versus single malt, the big difference is that this does not have the plum accord. Same Whiskey Accord, no plum. All right. And some people might say, okay, I prefer the much rarer single malt because of the plum. But here's the thing. First and foremost, at this point, there are so many fall winter plum fragrances, all right, that I believe that might cause some redundancy. And so what they did here with Old Fashioned, they took out the plum, but they did replace it with something close to it, which is Davana, all right? And Davana has kind of like a tea-like smell / dried fruits smell. So it's kind of like dried fruits, but it's not plum, but it does somewhat create that effect. And again, it blends in very well. The Davana blends in very well with that Whiskey Accord. And with that being said, I think it's a personal preference thing. I mean, you can definitely aim for the rarer single malt if you really want the plum. But like I said, there's just a lot of plum perfumes. I personally use the King from Boudicca the Victorious as my plum fragrance. And so, it's not necessary that I might need it right here. But definitely, I would say the Davana is a great replacement for the plum. And it makes the Whiskey Accord shine brighter. There's a spotlight now on that Whiskey Accord, which was secondary in single malt because of the plum. Now, of course, on top of this amazing Whiskey Accord is gonna be Cedarwood Absolute, all right, obviously. And this Cedarwood Absolute comes in as early as 20 minutes into the fragrance, slowly creeps in, and then you get that full experience. And of course, what the Cedarwood Absolute does is it tries to recreate that oak barrels, the whiskey cellars with the oak barrels, the Hennessy oak barrels, guys, with the whiskey. It tries to recreate that kind of scenario. And like I said, when put together, it's just amazing. I mean, you have that dry woodiness of that cedar with that Whiskey Accord. I mean, truly, truly amazing, guys. And also in the mid, you're going to get some Immortelle, which has a tea-like scent, and it mixes quite well with that Davana, creating a tea-like gradient into this mix. But again, really, it's Whiskey Accord plus cedar. That is it for quite a while. Okay, so now let's talk about initial sillage and projection of this fragrance. This fragrance is a draw-in, lingering scent, all right? This fragrance is not nuclear whatsoever, but it is a consistent lingering scent, obviously. And it's lingering because you get to enjoy it as the wearer. Again, creates that scenario. And it's a nice lingering smell of that Whiskey Accord, but you still have draw-in properties from the ambery, spicy, and balsamic properties, those those comforting properties are also a draw-in for others to smell. All right. And again, it creates that kind of scenario that is your elegant, nighttime, gentlemanly, classy scenario. All right. So that is what I can say regarding initial sillage and projection. Now on the dry down, guys, it gets sweet and spicy and ambery and balsamic thanks to styrax and tolu balsam. All right. These are the dry down notes of this fragrance, and it's an expected type of ending, but I like it because even as the booze wears off, and this is way deep into the fragrance, I would say 7 to 8 hours into this fragrance, it's a long coverage of the combo of the whiskey accord, plus the barrels, the oak style, the cedar wood, absolute smell. But then right here in the dry down, guys, it gets, like I said, ambery. It does get a little bit cinnamony, guys, and balsamic. This is a nice ending, of course, and it matches perfectly with the start and mid of this fragrance. Because like I said, even in the beginning, the whiskey accord doesn't smell like straight booze, all right? It does have balsamic, resinous elements. It does have a honeycomb type of smell with the wheat absolute. So it's a nice continuum on this rich, sweet, spicy, balsamic amber ending to this fragrance right here. Now, with all that being said, let's talk about total performance of this fragrance. This fragrance lasted 12 hours for me. And I would say that the strongest parts of this fragrance is up to 9 hours. All right. Then after that, it is a draw-in. Like I said, a draw-in ambery balsamic part near the end, past maybe like 9 hours. It's going to be like that until hour 12. The strongest lingering parts are up to 9. All right. And like I said, this fragrance is a nice, recall, or you can say retro of one of the classics of By Kilian, which, like I said, back in my heyday when I started this channel, this was a very wanted perfume, a London exclusive, now discontinued single malt. Now you get a chance to try it and own it full bottle yet again. Again, minus the plum, but again, it's okay given the fact that there's a redundancy factor. I think it's worth it, all right? If you like boozy fragrances, get a sample. I don't know if you got to hit up MD for a sample or try it at your local Kilian boutique, but I would say it is worth a full bottle. I like boozy scents, and this one right here has a nice continuum to it. It's not extremely strong. It's just enough for a sensual, classy evening. Definitely upscale grabber, guys, and it will make you feel very comfortable and cozy during those cold winter nights. And that is it. That is my no hype review on the latest By Kilian Old Fashioned. Again, I want to thank MD for sending this over. Please hit him up for any sales or inquiries of this item, or if you want to get a sample, definitely hit him up. I'll put the links below, guys. And again, can't wait to try that new Angel Share. I mean, what do you guys think? Is that going to be like a mainstream, lovable, adjusted scent? Looks like a mix of Love Don't Be Shy and Angel Share to me. But that flanker, eventually I will get to try that, guys. So this one, though, gentlemanly, boozy, nice, warming, perfect for fall, winter. So hopefully you guys get to try this fragrance, guys. And that is it. And I will see you guys on the next video tomorrow. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. Peace.